Hey everybody, you are tuned in to the wrap-up. I'm L'Oréal Luchi. This week, Tupac's unsolved murder gets a major break in the case. Did Carlee Russell just Smollett us? New details give police reason to believe her disappearance was a hoax. Herbo is facing 20 years. Let's get started. Did Carlee Russell just Smollett us? The police exposed some red flags regarding her abduction. Now, quick backstory if you haven't heard. A 25-year-old woman named Carlee in Alabama was driving at night on a highway, claimed she saw a toddler with a diaper on the side of the road, goes to help the kid, notifies the police, then called her family before she mysteriously went missing for over 48 hours. Now, there was a nationwide manhunt for Carlee, but she ultimately returned home safely to her parents' house 2 days later. A lot of questions have been raised, like, where was the baby? Now, during a press conference, police reveal no one else made calls about a missing baby. No one else even saw a child, and this is when things get really fishy. Police also say before Carlee vanished, she searched things like, do you have to pay for an Amber Alert or search? She also looked up the movie Taken. There's also rumors she was fired from her job. Her employer spoke out, although they didn't confirm or deny it. Before disappearing, Carlee also searched how to take money from a register without being caught. Police also said Carlee searched things that reveal her mindset but didn't give details, so hopefully mentally she's okay. Now, her parents spoke out and claimed that abductor is still somewhere out there. You can watch that interview right now on hot97.com. Moving on, Herbo is facing 20 years after pleading guilty in Massachusetts to federal wire fraud charges. Now, prosecutors allege Herb funded his lavish rapper lifestyle by using stolen identities to fly in private jets, a Jamaican villa, buy designer puppies, and then lied to federal agents about it. Now, he was indicted 2 years ago, and a plea hearing is scheduled for July 27th. Although he's facing 2 decades, the Chicago Tribune reports he could get lucky and serve 2 to 3 years. Nipsey Hussle's ex, Tanisha Foster, reportedly refuses to hand over evidence in the legal battle over guardianship of the late rapper's daughter, Imani. Now, an attorney representing Imani named William Spiller, he is demanding that Tanisha share a recording of a conversation between him and Imani. Williams also wanted the device used to make the recording. Now, Williams accused Tanisha of playing an unlawful, unapproved recording of him and his client. Tanisha allegedly gave the recording to a judge at a mediation hearing in 2022. William wants the court to impose $2,500 in sanctions on Tanisha for her failure to produce the evidence he requested. After Nipsey Hussle's tragic death in 2019, Tanisha agreed to allow Nipsey's family to have custody over Imani. Now, the family claims Tanisha is unfit and has a drug and alcohol problem. However, at some point, Tanisha decided she didn't want the family having guardianship and is currently fighting in court to get Imani back. A final decision is expected to be made later this year. I'll keep watching and keep you updated. Nearly 3 decades after Tupac's death, could this be a major break in the case? Earlier this week, Las Vegas police searched a home in Henderson, Nevada, in connection with the unsolved slaying of Tupac Shakur. Now, the home is tied to a man who previously said publicly he was in the car with the shooter back in 1996. Now, after getting the search warrant, police used a bullhorn and ordered the residents to come outside with their hands up. When investigators entered, they sought computers, files, and other items potentially related to Tupac's killing. Now, due to the ongoing investigation, authorities can't really reveal many details, but the home is connected to a relative of Dwayne Keefe, aka Keefe D. Davis. Now, in his book, Compton Street Legend, Keefe, who is a self-described Southside Compton Crips gang member, says he was inside the car that pulled alongside Tupac off the Las Vegas Strip and opened fire. Now, he has never identified the gunman. Keefe also says he's the uncle of Orlando Anderson, another Crips member identified early on as a suspect in Tupac's murder. Now, Orlando was killed in a gang shootout in Compton a year and a half after Tupac's death, and no arrests have ever been made. Now, since Nevada doesn't have any statute of limitations for prosecuting homicide cases and can, under certain circumstances, hold responsible those in a getaway vehicle, even though they did not pull the trigger, hopefully justice finds Tupac. Before we get out of here, gotta talk about JayZ. His accolades just continue to rise. He made history as the first black male artist to have at least 10 solo studio albums reach double platinum status. Blueprint 3 became his 10th solo project to reach 2 million album sales. The Black album reached the quadruple platinum mark. Now, Hov is the second black artist to achieve this milestone, following right behind Mariah Carey, who currently has 11 solo albums with over 2 million copies each sold. JayZ also has a total of 12 multi-platinum albums. The Roc Nation CEO also leads the pack when it comes to charting. He topped the Billboard 200 14 times throughout his career. If you're in New York, check out the Brooklyn Library. They transformed it into the JayZ exhibit, Book of Hov. The library is filled with tons of Sean Carter memorabilia, and they covered it with JayZ lyrics. That's all we got for you today on the wrap up. I'm L'Oréal Luchi. Now I gotta get back to work. Adios.